It's a pound for pound beatdown for Boots Ennis.
Declaring your winner by TKO, he's still undefeated, and the new unified WBA and WBO super welterweight champion of the world, Jaron Boots Ennis.
Everybody involved with the making of this fight said this fight does not happen unless you are the one that's pushing for it. Instead, you're jumping right in with the man that people believe is one of the top fighters in any weight class and all the boxes. The question I have is why? Why were you so insistent on making this fight happen?
So it's a unification fight. That was a legacy fight. I had to say yes. If I was gonna say yes, I would have hung up the gloves. You know, that was only two options: either hang up the gloves or take that fight.
What do you think you do better than him?
I think like I said before, I think he's a solid fighter. You know, a good fighter. Yeah, he champion for a reason. You know, but I think I do everything better. You know, all around the board, I do everything. I can box, I can bang.
Yeah, I do worry about it, but it's not even worth worrying about it because if it happens, it happens. You gotta stick on it and continue to work hard and continue to do this or that, and everything will work out.
Right.
And like I said before, I would have fought them same two guys he just fought. The whole world would be bashing me. Yeah. For sure. That's how you know I'm at a different level. And I'm gonna show them there's really levels to this boxing game. Like I said, yeah, a solid fighter for sure. Getting better, but I'm gonna just be too much for him.
The 154 pounds division is becoming more exciting as talks of a huge fight between Jaron Boots Ennis and unified champion Sebastian Fundora continue to attract attention. Boxing trainer and analyst Greg Hackett gave his thoughts on the potential matchup and believes Fundora may need to mentally prepare for the serious threat that Ennis would bring. According to Hackett, facing a fighter with Boots' skills could be a major test, and the tall champion may need to feel completely ready for that challenge before stepping into the ring.
At 154, I think it's going to happen at 60. Why? I don't think Fundora wants that trouble at 54. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's so sure of himself. I think it's going to take him a couple years mentally to be really sure of himself. He talk a good game. He do. When he do his interviews, he talk a hell of a game. 30 seconds. He talk a hell of a game, but I don't think this is just me off of my observation. I don't think he's pleased with himself just yet to say he's gonna fight Boots after the.
Chris Algieri considers Fundora one of the toughest fighters in the division to figure out right now. He highlighted Fundora's huge physical frame while also praising the progress the champion has made since his bout with Brian Mendoza. Algieri explained that Fundora now fights with more control, uses his jab more effectively, and stays away from needless exchanges. Those changes have made him a more complete fighter and could turn him into one of the most difficult challenges available at 154 pounds.
He's so long, and he's getting better. He's improving. He's improving. He's learning how to use his size. He's using his jab. He's being more disciplined. He's not taking risks like he used to. Talk about a guy who used to allow people to hit him and then has figured out that you shouldn't do that at the highest level in that Brian Mendoza fight. But since then, he's been very, very good. So, yeah, I can understand why people would see him as the final guy because, again, with those physical advantages and the way that he's getting better.
Tim Bradley Jr. also called Fundora a very difficult opponent at this point in his career. Bradley believes some contenders may think twice about facing him while the champion is fighting at such a high level. Instead, some fighters could choose to wait and watch for any signs that Fundora is starting to decline. That kind of hesitation shows just how much respect the tall champion has gained throughout the division.
That man is from around my way. He's from around my way. He from the valley. I got none but respect for Fundora. They see the danger in fighting him right now.
Hackett sees Ennis versus Fundora as an intriguing matchup because the two fighters have very different physical styles. Fundora's exceptional height and reach allow him to fight effectively from long range, which gives him a clear advantage on the outside. Meanwhile, Ennis would need to cut the distance and make the contest much more compact. Hackett believes the fight could change quickly once Boots gets into range. His speed, accuracy, timing, and combination punching could put Fundora under serious pressure when they are fighting at close range.
When the tiger go after a giraffe and they be working him out, and even though he tall, he be trying, he be doing little shit, it's just hard to get the fuckers off. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be like a tiger and a giraffe. One of them two. Once Boots gets.
Chris Algieri also questioned whether Virgil Ortiz Jr.'s recent inactivity could work against him when facing a top-level opponent like Josh Kelly. Algieri pointed out that spending too much time away from the ring can create serious problems when the other fighter is competing at an elite level. From his perspective, rankings and reputations only reveal part of the picture. The best way to prove which fighter deserves to be ranked higher is to settle the debate inside the ring through direct competition.
And Jaron, with the level of talent he has, he can beat anybody on any given night. So, yeah, it's a really interesting time. And then even I got another title list, Josh Kelly. Yeah, very, very difficult style. And he knows what he is, he knows what he isn't. He will fight his fight. So he's a disciplined guy. He's got a lot of heart. He showed that in the Murtaza Liev win. So yeah, it's a lot of very good champions.
Stephen Breadman Edwards believes Jaron Boots Ennis would face two completely different challenges if he takes on Sebastian Fundora, and Virgil Ortiz Jr. Edwards expects the Ennis-Fundora fight to become intense early, with Boots using his pressure and accuracy to break down the much taller champion and possibly stop him. However, Edwards sees the Ortiz matchup going much longer and becoming more tactical. Ortiz's patience, disciplined approach, mid-range boxing, and inside fighting could force Ennis to deal with a very different kind of challenge.
Like, because where do you find 6'6" southpaw sparring with an 80-inch reach? Where do you find that at? You know what I mean? Like, everybody hires Mike Fox, but there's only one of him. You know what I mean? Like, where do you find that?
Everybody goes to Fox. It's hilarious.
Yeah, where do you find that? Like, a tall southpaw is like 5'11", 6 feet, 6'1". Fundora is 6'6" in boxing shoes. Where do you find that at? With a jab, with an uppercut, with a hook. He's mean, he's battle tested, great conditioning, and he's improving in front of our eyes. So that might be, you know what I mean? The fact is, Virgil was right-handed, about 5'9", 5'10". You could find 20 sparring partners. They may not be better than him, but they can give you what he gives you. It's hard to find something for Fundora. You have to get heavyweights or cruiserweights to spar you, literally, because junior middleweights and middleweights don't walk around at 6'6". And like I said, there's only one Mike Fox. So I just think that for whatever reason, this is the way my mind is viewing it, that Boots and Fundora is an early round shootout. I think that Boots, it looks like Hagler versus Hearns, and Boots gets him early. Not easy, but early. I think that Virgil and Boots go longer. I think that Virgil is a little bit more talented than Fundora. I think Boots beat Virgil because he has a better jab and can kind of score too many points with his straight punches, and Virgil marks up. And Boots is he's constant with his attack. Virgil marks up, he swells up, he bleeds all over the place. I think that will play a factor.
Breadman also warned that Ennis cannot afford to get careless when exchanging with Ortiz. Ortiz usually keeps a tight guard and fires back with quick combinations instead of leaving himself open. That style could give him chances to counter if Boots gets too aggressive or lets his punches become too wide. Edwards still gives Ennis the edge in the matchup, but believes the mid-range exchanges could be the most dangerous part of the fight for Boots.
He doesn't drop his hands, he throws his punches right from where they're at, and he throws short, quick hooks and uppercuts, and he's kind of even-handed. And I think that would be, Boots will have to be on his game, because Boots likes it. Even though Boots could play with Virgil and do fancy stuff from the outside and use his speed, at some point, Boots is going to back Virgil up, try to back him up, start beating his body and working in the mid-range and the inside, because that's where he likes it. That's how he sees a fight. You can't fault a person for seeing a fight the way they see a fight, but that's where Virgil likes it also. And I think that in there, that Boots will have to be really, really sharp, because although Boots is more talented than me, to me, I think sometimes Boots, right in those ranges, he drops his hands a little bit and kind of wings his shot sometimes. And Virgil is a little bit more tighter and shorter right there. I think that will be the one area that Boots will have to be careful with Virgil if they're exchanging. Like, let's say they're exchanging hooks and Boots throws one of his winging type of hooks and Virgil just sit on one, boom, and turn it right over. I think that will be right there, where Boots could possibly have some trouble. So I think that he will have to be more careful with Virgil. With Fundora, the game plan is a little bit easier because he's so tall. He got to just, you know what I mean? He got to dog him. He going to have to dog him. And believe it or not, Hans, sometimes the more difficult fight is the fight where you have to pick which game plan to execute. Because Virgil, he can outbox Virgil, in my opinion, right? But somebody else may say, you know what, Virgil's a come forward fighter. If Boots pushes him back, then the fight's over with. That's another way of looking at it.
If Ennis and Fundora eventually meet in the ring, Greg Hackett expects Boots to gradually take control before breaking the champion down in the later rounds. Hackett believes the fight could remain competitive into the late stages before Ennis creates the chance to stop Fundora somewhere between the 8th and 10th rounds. His prediction comes from Boots' mix of speed, timing, technical ability, accuracy, and power. Hackett believes those qualities could give Ennis an edge over the level of opponents Fundora has faced so far.
He will be able to show his inside skill. You're gonna have to box him on the inside. You got working for him. He can get past the jab, but he can break his body up. Sure.
How does it end?
I'd say probably going the distance, maybe.
Sebastian Fundora also shared his thoughts on the possible matchups and admitted that Ennis has looked impressive since moving up to 154 pounds. However, when Fundora was asked to choose between Ennis and Virgil Ortiz Jr., he gave Ortiz the advantage. Fundora believes the tough third round Ennis experienced against Sander Zayas revealed weaknesses that another elite fighter could look to exploit. Even with that view, Fundora still believes either matchup would provide plenty of excitement for boxing fans.
You're the top of your division. After you, who do you feel is like the guy in your division?
I guess Ennis. Ennis with his last win, you know, I mean, he looked good. He looked good doing his thing. He looked like he had fun as well. So it's nice to see I mean, he's been a champion before, but a fresh face in 154.
Okay, all right. And then say the talks you go through with Boots and Virgil. Who do you got in the fight?
I favor Virgil. I mean, we saw that third round. That was enough for me to see what I needed to see, but
Tim Bradley Jr. remains highly confident in Ennis if a fight with Virgil Ortiz Jr. eventually happens. Bradley believes Boots could control Ortiz in a similar way to how he performed against Sander Zayas. He explained that Zayas did not have the elite mix of speed, power, and overall skill needed to seriously test Ennis. Bradley also pointed out that Boots was willing to trade early because he wanted to see exactly what his opponent could offer before making the right adjustments and taking control of the fight.
Look, man.
But that was expected, though.
Listen to me.
You're talking about Zayas, a guy that isn't known for his punching power at all. That was
or his speed, really his skills. He checks boxes at a decent level, but not at an elite level.
But the thing is that he didn't feel the pop. You got to understand that about Boots. Boots is willing to take yours to get his, and it's a trap. Right? A lot of his flaws, but I'm just telling you that I know it's not always a good thing, but it works for him. And I think that he fights off a feeling. That's what it is.
Max Kellerman offered a more cautious prediction and said Ennis should technically enter the fight as the favorite because of his natural advantages. Boots has the height, reach, athleticism, and strong defensive ability to make the matchup difficult. Even so, Kellerman believes the contest is extremely hard to predict and could realistically be a 50-50 fight. He also pointed to Ortiz's stronger resume, especially his impressive win over Israel Madrimov, and argued that Ennis still needs to prove himself against a proven elite-level opponent.
That's Boots, right? Because generally, that guy wins those fights. But it's a different thing than actually going out and beating Virgil Ortiz and doing it in style. If he
especially
fights,
in that type of manner.
Who should be the favorite in that fight, Shady?
I'm going with Boots.
Favored.
Yeah.
He should be the betting favorite.
Yes.
I think this is a genuine coin flip fight. I really do. And I think we have to remember that Virgil Ortiz has fought the much, much better competition.
That's true.
He beat Israel Madrimov, very quality win. Madrimov gave Crawford all he could handle.
This fight happens and Boots wins a close, tough fight. Then he is.
Robert Garcia, who trains Ortiz, confirmed the report about the possible fight. Garcia explained that promoter Eric Gomez Ortiz's father and other members of the team spoke with him about the matchup and asked for his approval, which he was happy to give. Garcia also dismissed the idea that Ortiz needs a tune-up before facing another major opponent. He pointed out that Ortiz fought Israel Madrimov less than a year ago and has stayed active, unlike some fighters who can remain out of the ring for more than a year without facing the same questions.
Every time, you know, they talk about a fight, certain fight, whoever it is. Obviously, I'm the one that they call for the decision. I talk it over with Senior, my team, and everybody else. So that is very true. I'm gonna tell you guys, it is very true. The fight is very close. Eric Gomez, Virgil Sr., Rick Morigan, they all came to me, asked me what I think about the fight. I said, let's do it. There's no need to wait for that fight. There's no need to get a fight before that. Like a lot of people might think that Virgil needs a fight before that. No, he doesn't. Virgil fought less than a year ago. There's world champions right now that don't fight, that fight once a year or once every 18 months, and nobody says they're out of timing because of the delay. No, Virgil fought, less than a year ago. People seem to forget his performance against Madrimov. Virgil's active. Virgil's busy. We don't need to get a fight before that. The fight will happen. The only thing that could stop the fight is if Boots decides not to fight. But the fight on our side, I was the one that like I told you guys, Eric Gomez Sr., Rick. I said, let's do it. There's no question. There's no doubt that we win this fight. So
Hackett understands that Fundora's remarkable 6 feet 6 inches frame and huge reach make him a tough challenge for almost any opponent. However, he does not think Fundora's better use of those physical strengths has completely fixed the defensive flaws in his game. Hackett believes Ennis has the toughness, ring intelligence, and adaptability needed to identify those openings as the fight develops. If Boots can spot those chances at the right moments, he could exploit them and make Fundora's size much less of an advantage.
The 8th and 10th. I don't think he's going to see the 12. He's going to be too much for him.
What is it? You said, oh, I said, what's the deciding factor? Because everybody's looking at the length of Sebastian Fundora.
That's cool, but he just started using his length for you know what I'm saying? The most I can get Fundora, he battle tested, he went to wars and shit. That's another thing that plays in Boots' favor. He already went to wars. And we seen somebody who's nowhere near as technical as Boots or hit as hard as him or fast as him, put Fundora to sleep. So Boots ain't never been asleep. So, it's interesting though, because boy is 6'6". I get it, but that shit don't mean nothing, bro. He stopped.
Stephen Breadman Edwards leans more toward Ortiz when breaking down how this matchup might develop. He explained that when an opponent gets past Fundora's reach, the taller fighter can struggle against quick and accurate combinations from both hands. Edwards used Ortiz's performance against Tim Tszyu as an example of how that kind of pressure can be effective. At the same time, he admitted that Fundora has shown he can slowly break opponents down and stay dangerous as the fight reaches the later rounds.
Virgil and Boots go longer. I think that Virgil is a little bit more talented than Fundora. I think Boots beat Virgil because he has a better jab and can kind of score too many points with his straight punches. And Virgil marks up, and Boots is he's constant with his attack. Virgil marks up, he swells up, he bleeds all over the place. I think that will play a factor in the fight. I think it will go longer, but I think that Virgil is very fundamentally sound in the mid-range and on the inside. And he doesn't drop his hands. He throws his punches right from where they're at. And he throws short, quick hooks and uppercuts. And he's kind of even-handed. And I think that would be, Boots will have to be on his game because Boots likes it. Even though Boots could play with Virgil and do fancy stuff.
If the matchup develops in that direction, having the actual links to the Sebastian Fundora and Tim Bradley Jr. interviews would allow those sections to be included correctly and help keep the sourcing accurate throughout the piece.